This is all my vision. Oh, you know, I forgot there was something else I wanted to say. Stop. You know, some people may understand why I think this is such a big deal, and I want to explain part of what is such a big deal for me. I have got the idea of this book immediately after I had lost everybody in my family. So the remaining 3 members of my family died within 5 years. And how do you integrate that? You come from a family of 5, and you're the only survivor, and you're like 40 years old. And I just got this idea for a book. And I also really always wanted to convey the drama of group therapy and what goes on to people, because I feel that people don't really know that. They don't know how incredible it is and how it's the best theater you can imagine and how powerful it is. And I thought somebody should tell this part of the story. And then I also was learning about systems theory and how I really believed everything was connected. So I had this idea of the book right after that. And when I was writing the book, and I knew I wanted to write about my brother Arnold, who was my almost twin brother, who Doreen knew, and Doreen supported him being student body president. And it was her idea, and she made this whole big campaign, and he won. He became student body president. And
he was also a star football player, and he was about 5'5" years old.
Right, all the football players really admired him, and he was valedictorian as well. It's really hard when you, all of us that are old know this, but to have such significant people in your life and have nobody know them who you know. And so I had this need in me to write my brother's story. But as I was writing it, and this is the first draft, I looked at what I wrote and I felt I brought him to life. And I'm not a writer by training, and so it was this unbelievable feeling that I had brought him to life. I had brought him to life, and I could introduce him to other people. And the people who read the book would know who he was. And, you know, that's why the book means. And then, with everybody's feedback, you all helped me dig deeper and deeper and deeper. And then I learned so much about myself from writing this book, I can't tell you. And I've told my kids I want them to do the same thing, because my father did it, and I felt it was such a gift, and I'm doing it. But I learned so much about myself. But all of you kept asking me questions as though my family was worthwhile, and that there was a story to tell. And you know, people were saying more and more, we want to hear more about you, more about this, more about that. And I realized that this was a lost family, and it's like they lived and they died and just disappeared because they were not connected to anybody. And so this book was my way of making their life matter. And putting on paper the life that made me who I am. So it's really a piece of my heart in this book. And actually, I think my father wanted the same thing. He wanted us eventually to know how he got to be who he was, which was delightful in many ways, but a miser and very rigid, especially when I wanted to go out with boys.